me turn my fan off?
No, that one I think is okay.
Okay.
I think it's this one that's right here. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Hey Mitch, how you doing, buddy? David, how are you? Hey Ryan and Bart, how are you guys? Thank you for joining. Got a lot of messages over the weekend. I wanted to thank you for those of you that tried to respect the family time, but also a lot of you reached out to let me know you were at mini nationals this weekend and saw US Amps there, which is nice. And that was obviously MTI's build of the old Blazer 2 Legit, and yeah, they've done an amazing job. It looks great. From what I hear, it sounds great, and very proud to be part of anything with MTI. They're well known in the industry, and they have a good name. You know, their products are above average, so looking forward to doing more builds with them in the future. Scott, how are you, buddy? Aaron, welcome. Not sure why this is not staying on. So when we left off last week, I said I would test the double stack 500 HC on the SMD 81 dyno, unless anybody wants to see, or you guys that are here want to see something different, please let me know. Otherwise, I will shortly, after answering some questions, get the 500 HC set up and proceed to do the SMD 81 dyno test. Steven, how are you, man? For those of you that haven't seen any of the updates regarding the Merlin 5Ks and Merlin 10Ks, not much has changed from last Monday. They've been paid for. I think I saw some pictures of the items in the container, which is a good thing. I did see emails from welcome Michael Rodriguez. I did see some emails going back and forth between Seongsin's customs agent and our customs agent, which obviously is a good thing. They're communicating. We do have a few units coming by air. I couldn't afford to ship the entire shipment via air freight. It was over $16,000, almost $17,000 just to ship the 10Ks air freight, and that's without tariffs. It was going to be another $13,000 and change to ship the 5Ks via air freight. So as opposed to what was just over $8,000 for everything to be shipped. So unfortunately, there just wasn't enough room. With the pre-orders, we appreciate the pre-orders. That allowed us to order more equipment, but at the pre-order pricing, we didn't make money. We didn't really make profit to where it could pay for us to absorb the additional shipping costs. So I apologize. I tried to make it work, and I even thought about reaching out to some of you, or kind of doing it on a post to see if those of you that are anxiously awaiting wanted to pay the additional fees, but I didn't think that would be fair to ask for that, and I didn't want to prolong waiting to get the equipment on the ship over here. As I said before, for those of you that don't know, I'm going to repeat. I was told 10 to 12 days from South Korea to Los Angeles, California, and then whatever time it takes to get off of the ship to the truck, and then to here, which truck shipment from California to Florida, it depends. I mean, I've seen it as fast as 5 or 6 business days. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but they'll get here when they get here. Unfortunately, it doesn't behoove us as a company to not get them here. I want them here. I want to get them in everybody's hands. I want to start seeing them in the lanes. I want to see them in builds. The reaction to the pre-sale was overwhelming and kind of surprising. I mean, I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction to a pre-sale. So that's what's keeping me positive about the future of US Amps. So I think it's finally starting to catch on, and people are finally starting to realize the difference in our processes as opposed to other companies, and the reflection in the final product because of those processes. So thank you guys for all your love and support. Welcome Mo, welcome Cliff, Jason, Adrian, Sean. Thank you guys for joining. So normally what we like to do on Mondays with Mike and Jason, we do a little live talk, little chat. If you guys have any questions, car audio or US Amps related, feel free to ask. Joey, welcome. I know as we've grown, which we've grown by leaps and bounds, forget over the last year, just in the last 3 to 4 months, our followers have gained, our sales have grown, and we really appreciate it. But in that say, hey, welcome Michael Dudney, how you doing? Orlando, welcome. In saying that, we have more equipment out in the field. So there's hopefully more questions regarding installation techniques, or the questions between the differences between Class A, B, and Class D, because there is a difference in the way you need to power them. There's a difference in the way they need to be installed as opposed to a Class D. So this is a good forum for that, for you guys that are starting to receive equipment, starting to do your builds, and are unsure. Even if, just like we did last week, we touched on ohm load real quick with our timbers, because a lot of people are having issues hooking up their timbers. So again, that's what this Mondays with Mike is for. I try to, yes, you're welcome, Mitch, thank you. I try to take the time with everybody individually, but again, as we grow as a company, it's hard because there's only so many hours in the day. I'm receiving hundreds of texts, hundreds of emails, and I try to get that one-on-one with everybody. But unfortunately, as we grow, it's going to be harder to do that. So I'm going to utilize this platform to try to answer the questions that I would normally answer one-on-one. And that's going to be the difference, one of the main differences between our company and another. I don't know that most other owners can answer questions about their equipment from an engineering aspect, aside from the obvious people, the people that are involved in actually designing their equipment, not just speakers, but subwoofers and amplifiers. But I don't want to belittle or make it sound like one is less important than the other, but I honestly believe the engineering aspects involved in not only designing but building an amplifier is a little different from a subwoofer. But we're also learning. We're learning here. I'm learning over the last 6 to 7 months as we've gotten involved in trying to design a new and better subwoofer, which I think we've done. So have one of mine waiting on the other amp, otherwise started tear old US acoustic stuff out to put yours in. Thank you. I'm honored because US Acoustics makes great equipment, so thank you for giving us the opportunity. How can I get more power from my 2000X? The power is unregulated power. Malcolm, all of our amplifiers, well, I don't want to say all, but most of our amplifiers have unregulated power supplies. That doesn't mean that the power that the amplifier can make is unlimited. It just means that they can usually produce more power than rated. The amplifier's output is going to be limited by the output drivers and output MOSFETs, as well as the power supply. Just because it's an unregulated power supply doesn't mean that it's completely unlimited. It means that, well, okay, without getting into too much, the limitations of the power supply will be the toroids, which are the transformers, and the drivers and MOSFETs. Same thing with the output section. But in an unregulated power supply, the more amperage you give it, the more output it will then produce. The 2000X and 2000 amplifier, the USA 2000 and 2000X, they're great amplifiers, but they are limited by their power supplies. You're only able to use, unless you have some kind of funky reducer, 8-gauge power wire. There are 2 sets of power wires. There are 2 sets of powers and 2 sets of grounds on the 2000 or 2000X, but by Ohm's law, 8-gauge can only draw so much amperage. It can only pull so much amperage. So that's going to be your limitation on those amplifiers. There's also a protection circuit in place on the 2000 and 2000X. A lot of the old school guys that are on here might be able to tell you how to clip that. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. It will allow you to go lower ohm load on that amplifier if you're trying to do a burp. The guys that literally broke world records back in the day with the 2000 and 2000Xs, that's what they did. They clipped the power supply protection circuit, which allowed them to go down to half or quarter ohm. And they would do it for a burp. But as far as the longevity of the amplifier, I don't suggest it. The limitation of the 2000 and 2000Xs is right about 2000 watts. They're great amplifiers. They're extremely clean. The damping factor and slew rate is that of our newer equipment. But back in the day, that was pretty much unheard of. So you have a good set of amplifiers there. I don't know how many you have, and I don't know if they've been recapped, Malcolm, but the 2000 and 2000Xs are older than 14, 15 years old, which means if they haven't been recapped, and that's not just the rail capacitors. You want all of the electrolytic capacitors in that amplifier to be replaced. Shelf life is 12 to 14 years maximum, and that's if they've been powered or haven't been powered. It doesn't matter if it's brand new in the box and never saw power. That's the shelf life of the material that's in those capacitors. So just because you give it power and turn it on doesn't mean, and it turns on, doesn't mean that it's going to last under stress. When the electrolytic capacitors leak, it's often not visible to the naked eye. It's kind of a clear fluid, for lack of better terminology, that will leak out of the bottom of the capacitors, and when given power, you'll end up burning and sometimes almost unrepairably destroying the PCB. So if you have a 2000X, if you have an amplifier that's 12, 13, 14 years old or older, I don't suggest giving it power, regardless of your knowledge base. If you want the amplifier to survive and live and use it, reach out to Sam at Suncoast Amp Lab. Suncoast Amp Lab. That's who does all of our repairs, and he'll take care of you.
And he does excellent work.
Beautiful, extremely clean.
Yeah, very, very meticulous on what he does. He gives a printout of everything he's done on it. You don't just send it off to him and he sends it back and says, yeah, it's fixed. He gives you a breakdown of what all was done to it. And it's very, if I ever have equipment shit the bed, it'll be sent to him for sure.
Hey Joseph, how are you? Welcome. Aiden, have you compared y'all's slim subs with any other company, Resonics, NVX, Rockford, etc.? No, I haven't. But what I can say, and I don't know that Rigo will be sharing it now. He's taking care of some family stuff over the next few days. But Rigo has probably hours of video of me building our Slim 10. Once I got to a model that worked and made it through my rigorous test downstairs, which was 20 hertz at 600 or 700 watts, which is more than the speaker is supposed to handle. Once I was able to build and design that, I sent that to the build house, and they've reverse engineered it and built the subwoofers that we have. I trusted them to take that design and build a 12-inch speaker as well. And our 10 is based on the stereo integrity. I think it's the BM11. I have no qualms in saying that I tested that speaker. I liked the speaker. I liked the way it performed. I just didn't like the power handling capabilities. So, excuse me, that's what I concentrated on when building my version of the Slimline 10. So, but no, to answer your question, I haven't compared mine with any other. I don't compare any of my equipment with anybody's. It's part of my research before starting to work or build something. Like I just said, with the Slimline 10-inch, I bought a stereo integrity BM11 and I tested it and went through the same thing that I would do with any subwoofer, and then I tore it apart after I blew it up to see what failed, and that's what I knew, how I knew what to fix on ours. With the timbers, before I started, I bought every three-way component set that was over $1,000 available. I spent over $40,000 in three-way component sets and tested them over a 3 or 4 month period. And that's how I ended up figuring out what I liked and what I didn't like before designing ours. So no, I don't compare my equipment to others afterwards. If, like Rawcat, he was doing that tweeter shootout, and I reached out to him and asked if he would include us. I sent him a timber set. I see he's getting ready to do something with the 8s. If you guys notice, in his build, what does he use? He has an SQ442 in his build. He has, despite what he might have said, whether you take it negatively or not about the SQ442, he's using it in his build, so that says something. I did notice he said something and showed some pictures, and it looks like he has our 8-inch timber drivers in his doors, so that says something. I know he had a few negative things to say about the X-Max of the speaker, but I think he was looking at the way the speaker moved and not as a whole, because it doesn't have a large surround. It looks like the X-Max would be limited, but you have to take into consideration the gap, which is where the voice coil is, I guess, empowered by the magnet force. You have to take that into consideration with the spider landing and the distance between that and the surround. So just because a surround might not be large doesn't mean that a speaker can't have travel. Also, it doesn't make sense for a speaker to move 55 millimeters if it's only limited to 100 watts. So those speakers were designed not to be used by themselves. the 8-inch drivers were meant to be part of a component set. So I think they perform very well, especially after break-in. A lot of people don't realize break-in is a real thing. Whether you're with motors or anything. I know my dad worked for Ford for years, and we used to build race motors, and he would fucking hammer a motor, right as soon as it was built. And if it's going to break, it's going to fucking break, and if it lasts, then it's not a piece of shit. I can see that when it comes to certain things, but there is certain materials and certain things, especially in building speakers, that need to be broken in. We're dealing with glues. We're dealing with accelerators of glues, adhesives. Those need to be slowly broken in. We're dealing with stiff and rigid parts that are working in coordination with soft parts. Those need to break in so they can, learn to work together and move without cracking and or ripping or breaking. I have no qualms in saying that a lot of the people with our LH subs were hammering them right out of the box, and I did it myself. I ripped a few of our LH10s at the Spider, at the triple joint, because I was giving them the full power of a 100 HC right out of the box and not giving them a chance to break in. Once the subs break in, it's a world of difference. And yet again, it's partially my fault because I was very concerned with having a Chinese company build our subwoofer. I had heard over the years that the Gauss rating of the magnets or the motors were very weak, so I kept warning them that I wanted to make sure our Gauss rating was high. And now that we have a meter here and we can test them, our LH motors were pretty damn strong comparatively. But that's also why the speaker needs more time to break in, because the motor is so strong and the other components are not really made to handle that kind of power. So the break-in of a component speaker or a speaker, the break-in of an amp, all of that shit is real, man. You need to give stuff time to break in. Dirk used to tell me all the time when I was putting an amplifier on the bench, play some music through it for a little bit. Let it get warm. Don't just run it full balls to the wall on the, not the certified, but the dynamic power on the resistive bank, because you're going to have issues. And more often than not, he's right. Do I always listen to him? No, because I'm a hard-headed fucking Italian and I do what I want to do anyway. But I've also blown up a lot of my own equipment in not listening to him. So break-in is a real thing. Brian, what's up, buddy? Brendan, what's up, buddy? What's up from the DMV? I think I'll be able to come help tomorrow. Good.
Sweet.
Looking forward to having you here. Brian, welcome. Tim, how are you? Rigo, what's up, buddy? Adrian Fonseca, welcome. Seeing a lot of new names here. Mert Seaver, welcome. Marcus, welcome. Afternoon, my Suburban voltage is 15.4. Can I run one of the SQ442s in it? Brian, yes, you could, but I think you honestly purchased one of the first SQ442s. If you're referring to the candy green ones that I made for you back in the day, if that's what you're referring to, no, you can't, because it needs to be modified to perform at over 15 volts. If you want to send the amplifier back, I will gladly do that upgrade for you.
Handfuls and handfuls of people.
Yes,
It
yes.
counts up to 52 right now.
Wow, 52. Wow, thank you guys for joining, man. I really appreciate it. Marcus Mack, I have 12-inch subwoofers I would like to run for US amplifiers. Which ones do you recommend? Marcus, I need more information. I don't know which subwoofers you're referring to. I would need to know the ohm load and how many voice coils they have and the power rating of the speakers. Subwoofers, please. And I will gladly try to help.
Yeah, because with blank information like that, I mean, 12-inch Sony Explodes versus 12-inch Sundown X's. I mean,
there's a wide array of 12-inch subwoofers, wide array of power handling, a wide array of voice coil and ohm load specifics that can make a big difference in how you should power it. else we got here? Richard, welcome. Michael, welcome. Jason, welcome. Alex, what's up, brother?
What's up, Greenhorn?
There he is. What's up, man? How are you? Orlando.
Yeah,
Does the Merlin... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just gonna let you know, I already answered Orlando in the text while you're talking.
Oh.
That we've had stress tests in Brendan's car, and I think the highest we gotten so far is 110, and they were still, the amps are still pumping like crazy. There's something I can't stress enough, and this is, we've got new people in here, so much love to all you.
Yeah.
Our amplifiers, the Merlin series specific, are not built to be half ohm stated. They are built to be half ohm. Period.
There's a difference.
Big difference. There's companies out there that'll warranty half ohm, and by doing that, they take it, they replace the part out, they slap it back to you again. Our amps are designed to built to run at half ohm. Now the ratings that we give are at 1 ohm. We're not going to try to sneak out some magical numbers to you, but half ohm, they are still running as efficient, as clean, and as cool as a lot of amplifiers run at 1 ohm. And that's, down here, we have the bench test, and then we have the real life test. And we've got the real life test in Brendan's vehicle, in which is not an air-conditioned car. It's in the back window area. It's getting plenty of power to it. He's got lithium for days. That man could run a village off his lithium power. But we take into consideration the things in which the average person is going to do. What this amplifier is going to go through that's not in a 76 degrees on the desk controlled environment. This is in a real live vehicle, in the lanes, running competition. Immediately after competition, go out there and demo the living bejesus out of the system. Michael asks us to blow his equipment. He wants us to blow it out in real life, and Brendan's trying his damnedest. That Merlin, you can't kill it. We've had it, like I said, it was a little bit, it was over 110, I think it was like 112, something like that. But it was enough where that was after beating the bejeebers out of it, and then demoing the heck out, and then stressing it well past its limits, because Brendan's car is tuned at like 4. I don't even know what his frequency is. But even after all that, then we took the gun to it, and it still was about the equivalency of sitting in the Florida sun.
And the thing is, like down here, like we have to take the temperature outside into consideration when we're testing equipment. But that being said, if that's the highest that we've seen those amplifiers get so far, especially in Brendan's car, that says a lot, because the thermal threshold for the protection circuit in that amplifier is like 150 degrees, 160 degrees. So if you're 40 degrees off from that, and he's beating the hell out of it like that, I'll be very surprised. If somebody gets those to thermal, it's an issue. Like you're not giving it enough juice. You're not running the proper grounds or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
you're choking the circuit somewhere to make it overwork, not through the manufacturing process in which we've designed.
Yeah,
you're either dropping it down to 10, 12 volts. Your subs could be wired like in below the dirt. I will say that we have tested it at half ohm, works perfectly. Below half ohm, doesn't like it. It immediately goes into the
not made to do that.
I believe there's 4 protection circuits on those
Yes.
amplifiers.
Yep.
So we make sure that, I say we, Michael has made sure that that you've got to fight real hard to blow that amp.
Ricardo, welcome. Jason, welcome. Sean, what's up, guys? Getting back into the grind now that tax season is over. Thank you. Thank you for getting me taken care of, buddy. Ronald Marrero, welcome. Jake Coates, welcome. That's a new name. John Slicker, fucking send it. Yes, that's what we do here. Ready to take the Silverado off your hands. Oh, okay. So I guess Rigo and I were talking about it, and I guess he kind of let the cat out of the bag. We're going to do a full US Amps build on the, that's a cat eye, by the way, Chevy Silverado extended cab that we have out here. It is bagged. It does have a air ride or Airlift Technologies 3P air ride management system. The upper end of the motor has been rebuilt. It does have cam and exhaust. AC blows ice cold. The interior is pretty clean. It's a nice truck. I don't particularly like the paint job, but I do have a roll of I think it's Vinyl Frog purple flip flop, which we could do, or I can offer a custom paint job on the truck. It just depends on, people are really pissing me off, man. They're trying my patience. Somebody that's usually on here is texting me.
Yeah.
Like he's on here every week and he's sending me a text. Any update on my Neo 18? Like, dude, you were here last week.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Anyway, I'm very excited about building this vehicle for the winter. I don't know the specifics of entries and or how you're going to be able to enter. That's something that needs to be ironed out. Checking with the attorneys over the next couple days to make sure how the title work will be handled, how the taxes on the title will be handled, especially if transferred between states. I just want to make sure that there's no unforeseen issues that we run into later that could potentially be catastrophic. I'm only saying that because I recently purchased a car from Texas, and I've dealt in cars my entire life. I owned a car lot at one point. I never, and I guess this is a county thing, so I guess it differs not just by state, but county as well. Because this vehicle was from out of state, they made me go to the sheriff's department and had the sheriff notarize the odometer reading on the vehicle before they would let me transfer the title into my name. Not really a big deal depending on where you are, but here we don't have a normal municipality here. We don't have a Spring Hill Police Department. Our police is the sheriff for the county, so those guys are literally overwhelmed as it is. It took months for me to get that handled. So I want to try to check the logistics. I want to check all of the specifics to make sure that there's no issues regarding tax tag and title for this vehicle, being that we're doing it in a raffle type of scenario. So again, just want to make sure ahead of time that there's no issues. And then once Rigo's available, we will talk as a team to see what works best as far as entries, how you can be part, and hopefully, and then how we're going to choose, you know, how are we going to choose who wins. The level of the build will be determined by how many people enter. You know, obviously it's a car. It's not, you know, a $200 speaker. It's a car, you know, even at its least is still worth, you know, $7-8 grand. So I need to make sure if we're doing a build on top of X that the money is there. Not doing it to make money. I'm doing it because I have a very nice vehicle that could be oh wait, oh shit, I should have checked that. That had something to do with our Korean shipment. Sorry, I didn't want to mess up this video though. That being said, depending on the amount of entries will determine the build level. So that's based on what you guys do once we decide how you can enter. I'm open to doing a full paint, you know, full B-pillar wall build. I'm open to a blow through. I mean, whatever the monetary limit determines. So again, this is just another way for me as an owner and us as a company to say thank you guys for all your love and support, and to try to build, you know, some more hype around the brand. You know, who the fuck gives away a car? We do. Who builds that car for you? We do. You know, the same company that tests your equipment before it gets sent out. I really thought that other companies would jump on that.
I'm wickedly surprised. All right, so real quick on that side right there.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me or what have you knows I worked electronics manufacturing engineering for a cumulative 25 plus years. So I was the guy that went straight from bare board to final product. We went from blank circuit board to packaged up in the customer's box, shipped out to them. We tested the blank circuit board to make sure there's no internal trace damage. And then we tested the ICT and FCT, which is integrated circuit testing and functional circuit testing, but we didn't actually test the product.
Right.
We pretty much did the equivalency of taking a multimeter and going, yep, that resistor's good, ship it down the line. The fact that other companies in the audio industry specifically don't test their products prior to being sent out to the level that we do if they do, and I'll give them this at least, they do a small percentage. They'll do 2% of product or 5% of product.
The build house.
The build
does
house.
that.
But
they
the
don't do it as owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, so I myself and Michael sit up here for, well, we're not talking about how much time we take on this, but we sit up here and any product that comes out has been bin tested, sends out with a dyno sheet to prove that we have done something to test it. We're not just, taking up, looking at the box, but so it puts out 500 watts.
Right.
And it's all tested. So just,
Now the impact amps, we don't give a burst sheet, but I've watched Jason test 5, 6, 7 impact amps a day because we've had that many orders.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank
awesome.
you. No,
the impacts have hit the ground running. Not that I was surprised, but I think the fact that we've gotten them out there, and the original, to look at it for the layman view, it's our lowest model. It's our throwaway amps, if you will,
the entry level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The bottom. I just got a new car. Let's put this in there, kind of thing. The statistics on these amplifiers hangs with the mid and high level of other companies. Mm-hmm. And this was not anything that was really expected to begin with. And not to say that it was built low and we expected low, but it wasn't expected to be as high as it is. And it put out the numbers it does. The 1000.1, we've been testing that, put out over 1400.
Yeah.
Out of a 1,000 watt amp.
Yes.
That's D class. That's the higher end D class kind of stuff. Everybody remembers the old Orion 5Ks that put out 5,000 watts. Yeah, no. That was exactly like the US amp Merlins, that the 5,000 puts out close to 10K.
Yeah.
That's what you expect in the higher end of a company. Definitely not the entry level
$150 amplifier.
$150 amplifier.
And also, that being said, at this point we've sold so many. How many have been returned from damage?
I think one got damaged in shipping.
Yeah.
And that was like just a broken.
The original prototype.
Yeah. I
ended up sending to John Threcold because he wanted one, and I didn't want to make him wait. We were still waiting on the shipment to come in. That amp got damaged, but that amp also went through Dirk testing it, me testing it. It was on Brendan's bike for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I beat the dog shit out of that poor amplifier. And then it ended up blowing part of the power supply, I think. I have it here. But, I mean, you're talking hundreds of amplifiers, and not one has been returned because it's damaged, like internally, like a component failure, So that makes me feel good, not only as a company, but that goes to show you that having engineers as owners and as higher level people in the team helps. We don't have to necessarily design an amplifier or a speaker from scratch, but when we have a build house send us something that could potentially be part of US Amps, we know what we're looking at, so we know what needs to be changed. Between that and our research and development procedures, I mean, again, I'm surprised other people just aren't doing it. So that shows just lack of commitment, giving a shit about your brand and about your product. Greed? Yeah, that's it.
You could have produced, and I'm not saying company names, but everybody knows the company. That's produced 20 amps that are in the D class. They come in different colors, they come in different sizes, they come in different shapes. Those come exactly from Kung Pao, China, or wherever the blades they order from, to the customer. Never do they cross hands with the company. Never are they tested, never anything. They go straight from this sequence.
I saw them post something about testing, but they showed pictures of the build house testing, which we know because I've ordered things from that build house that they test 1 out of every 100.
Yep.
Wow. But meanwhile, they're flying around on private jets and shit on your fucking money.
Yeah. But
you can't spend a little money and pay somebody to test shit.
I guess when you know something in such mass quantity that the amount returned is, you just keep mailing them out.
I guess that's why I'm broke as a company and they're rich.
You don't have as much of an oh my gosh markup as they do either.
That's true. That's true.
Because I wouldn't spend $100 on one of their amps because that's about what they pay for them.
Right.
So,
literally, S&I, they told me that they've never had a company take one of their designs and say, okay, I like it, but how can we make it cheaper?
Wow. Wow.
They're so worried about copying the way ours looked that they're not worried about, like, the integrity of the design of the amplifier. How can we make it cheaper?
That's okay though. So you can afford candy bars to give out to people.
Yeah,
So
you got Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, that's when you know you're rich, is when you just carry a pack of Tootsie Rolls in your pocket and just give them to random stewardess. I mean,
I have 12 15-inch FI audio 411s. I don't know what that is, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be difficult. I don't know a lot about other brands. If you want to shoot me a message, Marcus, on Messenger, let me know what the power rating and ohm load and how many voice coils those amplifiers have. I see that you have 12 of them. Sorry, 4,500 RMS. Okay. And you have 12 of them.
I'd say a 5K each would do just fine.
Well, he's got 12 of them, though, so you might want to do like a 10K on each pair. It depends on the ohm load, you know. It's always better when trying to find an amplifier to leave yourself what they call headroom, meaning if the subwoofer needs 4,500 watts, you don't want to get a 4,500 watt amplifier. You know, you want at least 5K that makes 6,500 or better. That way you're not always pushing your amps balls to the wall. But that being said, our Class D amplifiers make a hell of a lot more power than they're rated at, so I also don't want to put you in a situation where you're constantly blowing subs either. So 4,500 watts. I need to know the ohm load of those speakers to help you out. But most likely you'd want to do a 10K per pair, and then depending on whether you're using a DSP or just the crossover section of the amplifier, you can just kind of crank it down a little bit.
It's always good to have too much power and turn it down than to overstress and overpull out of equipment in general.
Right.
Makes it run a lot more efficient, makes it run a lot cooler, saves the life of it.
Lengthens the life of the amplifier.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a V8 that I'm running at 2,000 RPM pulling a trailer than a 4-cylinder that I'm tacking redline trying to do the same.
I think Chevy's finally doing it now, but Mercedes has been doing it for years. Their V8s, once it sees that you're driving a certain mile per hour for a certain distance, it'll drop half of the cylinders. I mean, it just makes everything last longer. Yeah. Mike Pendleton, what's up, guys? Old school US Amps fan from the early 90s here. Hey, welcome, Mike. Thank you for joining. Tim Dolph, welcome. Ricky, 4 SPX 1224 Memphis 150 HC can go 2 or 4 ohms. Don't understand. John, welcome. I was just talking about you, buddy.
Yeah, it definitely is a beautiful truck. You should see it in person. Every time I walk by it, I try to figure a way how to get off the property, but it doesn't happen.
Brendan Gardner, Merlin is the best amp I've had in my car by far, and I've had a lot of amps in my car. A lot of good amps. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Brendan. Harold Nimitz, good morning or early afternoon for you guys. Yes. Orlando. Catherine Banks is watching. Welcome, Catherine. Is that free shipping also? The vehicle? Ooh. It depends, man. It depends. That's, yet again, something else that needs to be thought about, right? If it ends up to where somebody in Canada wins it, that might be tough. I know our trade agreements with Canada right now is not of the best conditions right now. I don't want to get into government or political talks here, but we're going to have to be careful with that, right? So just like if it's going to California from here, that could be pretty costly. So again, thank you for bringing that up, because that's something that needs to be talked about. So
I'm open for a US Amps road trip.
I'm trying to trade my Harley for it before you do any work on it. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate it, but I have, and this is not me bragging, I've taken bikes in on trade. I have a 2000 Electra Glide that I don't use. I have a 2013 Street Glide that I don't use, and I have a 2015 Street Glide that I don't use. So as much as you saying I have a Harley I want to trade piques my interest, I might be open to doing some type of trade with it, but I can't do it on this vehicle because I've already promised everybody that we're going to do a build with it. So I do have other vehicles that I need to get rid of because I'm out of room, and yeah. The bagged cord we had to take to the unit so they could check the vehicle. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think it must be the area, because I've never seen that before. Todd, I am in. Yes, Todd, I put together a nice build for your bug. Very excited about it. I think what we need to do, Todd, is get the vehicle here and take everything out, do a full 3D scan. I want to build a 15-inch subwoofer, but I want to build the enclosure and make it partially out of acrylic to where we can make the box also house or be part of the amp rack and the DSP and the other pieces that you had in the front there. I think if we 3D scan and fiberglass the back end, that way we can utilize all of the space and then utilize some acrylic and other materials, we can make the box take up as much room as we can without losing space that we can use for housing the amplifiers and DSP and whatnot. So I have a few ideas. I put them together on paper. Unfortunately, it's hard to get that into a rendering because I'm not good with that. And we pretty much sent everything we can from as far as Rigo. But I think you've seen some of the things that we can build here and know that I wouldn't take it on unless I was fully committed and fully confident that we can make the end result a show winner. So when I get done with this live here, I'll shoot you over some info and we'll see what we can do. Jeffrey Allen's truck is playing. We're gonna finish up a few things on it and get it tuned, and that will be leaving, and then we're looking for the next big build. So maybe that could be Todd's bug. That would be awesome.
That Beetle's gonna be gorgeous when you're done with it.
I love it as it is.
Yeah, even just naked. It's for anybody that doesn't know, it's a 1960s Beetle, completely restored, ground up. They've got it sitting on a full bag set. The motor has been completely rebuilt with double Webers on it. The interior has been redone.
The wheels, I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
Todd, you did a great job of putting that thing together.
And
man.
what I got mad respect for is we're sitting at the US Amps Labs and we hear the Beetle coming. These guys just drove it right up. It's not a Trailer Queen. It's not here's some pictures that's sitting in my garage.
He's over an hour away or just at an hour away, and he jumped in the car and drove it up here. First trip too.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
But
that's
smiling.
Cool. Yeah.
They only got about like 50 miles to the gallon. So.
Peter, welcome, buddy. Dominic, all the way from Germany. What's up, brother? Yes. Oh, trust me, we're all excited about these amps coming. We're all very excited. Jeff, welcome. Eric, welcome. It's the scraps that get picked up off the floor that make the impacts, and they're still better than most out there. I'm downstairs with the blue test mule when you're done with the stream. Oh, right on, Sam. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be done here in another 7-8 minutes, I think, here. John Threckle, that was not your fault. That was my fault for sending you an amplifier that had been put through the ringer. That amplifier has already been repaired by Sam at Suncoast Amp Labs, and we'll be using it here shortly. I won't send it out as a new amplifier, but we'll utilize it. I'm building a little mini truck in here. That's one of my vehicles that we're going to do an all impact build. Anthony, welcome. Julio, welcome. What's up, buddy? Candido Martinez, welcome. Wow, Danny, wow, we got a lot of new faces on here.
We definitely do. It's much appreciated. It is. I would dare say the name's getting out, the reputation's going to follow. So.
I took a loss selling my new knockoff JP63 to buy a Merlin 5K. I hate to hear anybody losing money, Jason. I appreciate you taking the opportunity to buy a Merlin 5K. You will not be disappointed in its performance. Carl Cross, welcome. See a lot of new names here. Billy Fiantaco. Hey, US Amps, how's it going? I have a Salt 12. What would be equivalent in US Amps? I don't know what a Salt 12 is. I'm assuming it's a 12,000 watt amplifier. Knowing that it's a Sundown, it is built at S&I, so it's most likely built as around an 8,500 watt amplifier. Our 10K is more than that Salt 12 can handle.
I want to say that the Salt 12, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the second generation Merlin that we tested?
I didn't want to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, they. I think it's their new Team 10K is what the new Sundown Team 10K is what we have here. But yeah, when we decided we didn't want it because we blew it up for the 4th time, another well-known company decided that would be their team model. Okay. I don't know.
Can't control everybody.
No. I know people are having problems with them.
No.
I'm in Arizona. I'll fly out and drive it home. Yes. Awesome. Mr. Reinhardt, what's up, brother? James Jordan, what's up, man? And Goldwing. Yes. I'm taking that for a ride this week, John. Welcome, Randy. How you doing, brother? I might have to get a Merlin 5K for the daily. Jason. Yeah, so we were able to double our order based on pre-sales. We do have black and blue coming. I don't know that everybody knows or not. The prototype that you keep seeing pictures of, the Merlin 5K and Merlin 10K is silk screened on. The amplifiers that you'll receive, that's actually etched, laser etched in there. We didn't go for silk screening. We laser etched. The side plates are 2 millimeters heavier, thicker gauge, and that was as per Dirk. That was the only thing Dirk wanted to see, was a heavier gauge side plate. That's what we did. And then we have 25 of each 10K and 5K coming in black. The remainder will be in blue. I'm not going to offer color changes on the Merlin 5K and 10K, at least not for the first order. I'm more concerned with getting the equipment in people's hands, getting them in builds, and getting those builds out into the world. We have, as a company, again, for those of you that don't know me, I'm all about no bullshit. I don't pull any punches. As a company, we have a lot invested monetarily and otherwise in these amplifiers, and I don't want to prolong getting them into people's hands. When we Cerakote or change a color on an amplifier, especially an amplifier like this, we have to wait for them to get here, completely disassemble them, strip them, send them to Cerakote, then rebuild them basically, which takes a lot of time and effort. And honestly, I would rather get through these blues and blacks that we order, and if other, we'll put up a poll. If people want to see another color for our second or third order, we'll get different colors in. That I think is better, not only for the product, it keeps us out of it. That way, if there happens to become issues, Seongson can take care of it. But it also, it gets the amps in your hands faster. And that's what I want. Should be a pickup event, meet the team, and go over the build, maybe in Mondays. Yeah, so I plan on, once we decide how we're going to do this, we're going to set this build up kind of like a, insert car build show here type of theme, and we will post it pretty much every day on YouTube. I'm going to do a video, almost every day, and I don't know that we're going to go through and edit everything, but I'm just going to post the build pretty much every day on YouTube and go from there and let people take what they want from that. MJ, all vehicles coming from out of the state have to be VIN verified. Florida used to charge a $495 fee on top of everything else for out-of-state cars. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't deal with that as a dealer, especially in bulk, but and I didn't pay that fee in getting that car here last month, so I'm not sure. Thank you, Mr. Wasden. Have a good day, brother. The first Merlin going. Wesley Spall, welcome. All right, so we're right about 1 o'clock here. Yeah. Hey, Danny James, how you doing? T-Mac, welcome. I'm actually going to color match my Xterra to the Merlin Cobalt Blue. Awesome, I like that.
That's cool. That's a beautiful blue. I love when Mike first showed them to me. Brennan and I, he was kind of going back and forth on the colors, and second guess. It's what you do in manufacturing. And we both saw it. I'm like, I wouldn't change that for anything. It's a beautiful blue color. It's a good neutral color too.
Welcome, Matt. What's up, buddy?
So, hey, what's up, Matt?
Yes, my wife picked that color, and I'm not mad at it at all. I think it looks really good with the laser etching, which I can't wait to show you guys. So, I hate to cut it short today. It has been right at an hour, and Sam from Suncoast Amp Labs is here with hopefully the version 2 of the 100HC ready to go, and we're going to test it out on the dyno. So I will share those results, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. We've been working on this for quite a while. Sam just recently got involved, and he's kind of picked up where me and Dirk, and then me and Sean, and then me and David kind of left off. So thank you guys very much. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, feel free to send us any messages, and we will try to answer them in the order they're received. T-Mac, thank you for joining. Hey, thank you for everybody that's joined. I apologize. We do got to get off. We got orders to fill. But thank you for being part of the US Amps family. Please spend time with yours, and we thank you again for everything that you do here.
Yeah.
Don't forget Sundays at 9. We got, what is it? Ramblings with Jason? Is that what you call it?
With Jay.
Rambling with Jay.
I didn't do this Sunday because I didn't have anything to talk about, for one. For two, by the time I noticed, I said, oh, shoot. And we just got done with dinner. I'm like, you know what? If need be, I'll do something during the week. But, yeah, don't forget Made of Steel. That's the big one coming up.
Made of Steel is coming up.
Yep.
US Amps will be there in full force. We will have our own booth, which I usually don't do, but I'm hoping that we have a few new things that you guys haven't seen that will be revealed there as far as US Amps builds. So come see us at Made of Steel. But we'll see you next week with Mondays with Mike and Jason. Thank you guys for joining. It's surprising you always something to talk about. I'm a fucking blabbermouth. That's why I'm Italian. We don't shut the fuck up. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy your day.